believe in never.
Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Nandito po ako ngayon sa Barangay Candolawan kung saan naninirahan ang pinakasikat na journalist sa ating bansa na si Christian A. At ang aking ginagawa ngayon ay naglalakad patungo sa kanyang bahay. Nandito po tayo ngayon sa kanyang bahay upang mangalap ng impormasyon at dinggin ang kanyang panig tungkol sa relasyon ni na Dr. Jose Rizal at Josephine Bracken.
Ano po sila?
Magandang hapon po. Isa po ako sa reporting ng TV Background at ang pangalan ko ay si Leonela Mata.
Ano po sabi natin?
Ikaw po ba si Christian A. na isa sa sikat na journalist sa ating bansa?
Oo, ako nga. Lagi, kaya ka pasok. Tuloy. Okay, let me give you first the background of Josephine Bracken. Josephine Bracken was born on October 3, 1876 in Victoria, British Hong Kong. She died March 15, 1902. Cause of death was tuberculosis. Resting place was Happy Valley Cemetery located in Hong Kong. Other name of Josephine was Josefina. The Filipino usually called her as Josefina. Known for La Viuda de Rizal, or in English, the widow of Rizal, because Josephine Bracken was widowed at the age of 20. The spouses of Rizal were Jose Rizal and Vicente Abad. I will explain later on why Josephine Bracken had two husbands, and Josephine Bracken had two children. So I will explain later on also. The parents of Josephine Bracken was James Bracken and Elizabeth Jane McBride. And then, okay, during the first meet of Josephine Bracken and Jose Rizal wrote a letter, or not a letter, but a poem rather. Rizal wrote a poem in order to express his feelings for Josephine. And Rizal state there that Josephine, who to the shores came, searching for a home and nest, like the wandering swallows, if your fate guides you to Shanghai, China, or Japan, forget not that on the shores a heart beats for you. Because her mother died after giving birth to her, and the father of Josephine was a military man and was always on the move, Josephine Bracken was adopted by her American godfather named George Edward Taffer. George Edward Taffer was an engineer in Hong Kong, and George Edward Taffer fell ill in his old age from a double cataract that no one ophthalmologist in Hong Kong could cure. So what he did, he traveled a long way to the Pitan together with his adopted daughter, Josephine Bracken. And there, Dr. Jose Rizal gave everything he could do just to cure George Edward Taffer. But unfortunately and sadly, the illness of George Edward Taffer was incurable. So Dr. Jose Rizal couldn't do much for him. After a whirlwind romance for 1 month, Josephine Bracken and Jose Rizal planned to have marriage. But when George Edward Taffer knew about their plan and cannot endure the pain of losing Josephine, he decided to commit suicide and kill himself by a small razor. But unfortunately, Rizal was there. He grabbed the wrist of Mr. Taffer and resist of killing himself. So, to avoid tragedy, Josephine and Mr. Taffer went to Manila. There was this one priest named Father Antonio Ubak who refused to marry Josephine Bracken and Jose Rizal because there was no special dispensation from the Bishop of Cebu. So since Jose Rizal was a Mason and Josephine Bracken was a Roman Catholic, and there was no other alternative to marry the two, they decided to get into a common law marriage executed with the presence of two witnesses, which was Jose Rizal and Josephine Bracken. On the last poem of Rizal called Mi Ultimo Adios, Mi Ultimo Adios is not only for the family of Rizal but also for Josephine Bracken. And Rizal wrote the line, Adios dulce extranjera, mi amiga, mi aligra. In English, farewell sweet foreigner, my darling, my delight. And August 13, 1886, this was the letter wrote by Josephine Bracken, the unedited letter wrote by Josephine when Rizal was on his way to Cuba and was on his prison days. Josephine state that if you go to Spain, you see any of your fancy, you better marry her. But, dear, hear me. Better marry than to live like we have been doing. I'm not ashamed to let people know my life with you. But as your dear sisters are ashamed, I think you had better get married to someone else. Your sister Narcissa and your father, they are very good and kind to me. So, we all know that after the death of Rizal, on January 6, 1897, tingnan nyo kung paano talaga gaano talaga kamahal ni Josephine Bracken si Jose Rizal. She avenged the death of her husband, Jose Rizal, by joining Emilio Aguinaldo's revolutionary movement. She participated many battles. Most of the time, she was hungry and barefooted. So nakita talaga siya ng mga tao doon na walang nakachinelas na walang chinelas, nakapaalam. So in 1900, Josephine married with Don Vicente Abad. After the death of Rizal, Josephine Bracken married Vicente Abad, the second husband of Josephine Bracken. And during their relationship, Josephine Bracken and Vicente Abad had a child named Dolores Abad, and Josephine Bracken nicknamed the child as Dali. But before Dolores Abad was born, Jose Rizal and Josephine Bracken had a child named Francisco. And the reason why daw, bakit namatay yung anak nila, kasi tinulak raw ni Rizal sa hagdanan si Josephine Bracken. But that was according to Philippine press. And palagi daw silang nag-aaway, kaya namatay yung anak nila. And according to Philippine Free Press written by Ribumantan, he suggests that Rizal's days of consolation with Josephine were over, and that his request for assignment to Cuba as a medical volunteer was also prompted by his unhappiness with her. So sinabi ni Ribumantan na pumunta sa Cuba si Rizal kasi nagsawa na daw siya ni Josephine, o wala na siyang pag-ibig ni Josephine, kaya pumunta siya sa Cuba. And during the execution of Rizal in Fort Santiago, Rizal hardly exclaimed that, my dear, my time has come to be united to you but to be separated forever. And because before Rizal was executed in Fort Santiago, Josephine Bracken went to Fort Santiago and talked to Rizal. They talked emotionally, and after, Rizal gave a book to Josephine named The Imitation of Life. On the first page of the book, Rizal wrote there, to my dear and unhappy wife, because Rizal, on his letters, he usually called Josephine as unhappy wife, dear unhappy wife. Josephine referred to Rizal as Joe in her letters, and Jose Rizal referred Josephine Bracken in his letters as dear unhappy wife.